small acts matter too.
Really. I mean, I will tell you that there have been 3 times in my life where I have gone to Starbucks and the person in front of me paid for my drinks. And I can tell you that will stick in my mind forever because I might have been having a crappy day. I don't even remember that part. But what I do remember is someone doing that for me made my day better, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that I couldn't afford to buy the Starbucks. It was that someone took time to do something special for me. Right?
Yeah.
Something out of the norm. And I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what we think might be a simple, what's the point of doing that? It really won't make a difference. I mean, simple things like holding the door for someone, right?
Welcome to Her Unshakeable Confidence with dynamic mother-daughter duo Simone and Olivia Canego, where they discuss the secrets of transformation and how to build bold confidence and unwavering resilience. From intimate conversations with inspiring guests to sharing their personal journeys of triumph and challenge, Simone and Olivia create a supportive space where every woman is encouraged to rise above her fears and love the woman in the mirror. Tune into Her Unshakeable Confidence and join this special journey of connection and growth. It's like catching up with old friends who inspire you to be bravely and uniquely you.
Welcome to this week's episode of Her Unshakeable Confidence. I'm Simone Canego.
And I'm Olivia Canego.
And this is super exciting because we are recording from her studio in her apartment. And this is the first time we've done it like this. So
I know, this is really cool. Like, I feel like a genuine professional.
I know, right? This is so cool.
We've never had a setup like this. You've never even, I don't think, recorded in this room before.
No, I haven't. So
Yeah.
We always see her in this room, but now we get to both be in here.
I know.
Because I'm here for, until 5
So,
o'clock today.
you know what? If anyone's looking for a sign to move to a mid-sized city, this is your sign. Your amenities will be a lot better and your rent will be a lot cheaper than if you move to a New York or an LA. So just a sign. Just like if you want words of wisdom as someone that's done both, I prefer Nashville.
She's selling Nashville.
Yeah, I love it here.
Anyways, today we are going to be talking about, what are we talking about today?
Random acts of kindness.
Yeah, random acts of kindness. It's been a week, right? I mean,
it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's been really, I think the last episode that we recorded together was talking about the storm.
We were talking about the first storm. Right? And I was saying how thankful I was and how it's hard to feel, you feel guilty because other people have had their lives destroyed. And then Milton came and
she actually texted me that week. She's like, I think we might need to re-record something because I feel a lot different now than I felt at the beginning of the week. And I was like, that's very fair.
I'm still very thankful. I mean, our house is standing, but the storm came on.
It directly hit our home.
Yeah, Siesta Key. We were in the eye of the storm, which is crazy. And actually being in the eye of the storm is what really saved us.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we would have had horrific storm surge. And so there is a sense of guilt still because there are so many people that have truly lost their homes.
Yes.
I mean, we have a lot of damage, but it's all fixable.
It's still there. And it's a weird, how can you feel happy about this when, we were looking at the statistics last night, I think in our county, or no, not our county, but a nearby county, 440 homes are completely gone.
In one little city.
In one little city. So that's not even a full county.
Yeah.
It's horrifying to think about.
And when you drive down our street and you see all of the homes with the piles of debris in front of them, whether it's from yard waste or from pieces of their home that's now going to the trash because they were all, the wind just hit and took everything out of there, which is just, crazy to think about. But so the reason we decided we wanted to do this episode is there's a lot of things that happen when there's a crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when there's a natural disaster. It either brings out the best in people or the worst in people.
Absolute worst in people.
So I would say the first day after the storm. So we had evacuated. I drove back in the middle of the night, the day after the storm, so that we could get right to work. My husband came home earlier, but as soon as the sun came out that day, basically people were driving the neighborhoods. They were sending their drones around to see the damage so that they could come knock door to door to try to sell their services. And the hard part about that is, and I'm not going to say it about everyone, but a lot of the people, it is to get you to sign on the spot, and then you're stuck.
Yeah.
And
Oh, also, fun legal fact: if you ever purchase something within your home, you have like more leniency to cancel it. A
Oh, really?
contract. Yeah, because it's a pressure system. So if you ever get forced to sign something in your home, depending on your state rules, but federally at least, you have more of a leniency to cancel. Just in case anyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just signed into this roofing contract. How am I going to get out?
But the hard thing is then you still have to fight it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so these people are coming door to door. We had 6 people the first day, and I actually put a sign on the door said, thank you so much. We already have a roofer, because I just didn't want to deal with people trying to sell me something that I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to buy something like that. And when I asked about tarping the roof, their prices were 3 times what normally it costs, you know?
Horrifying.
And how can people afford that? And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So anyways, but what I want to focus on is
the people doing good.
The people doing good things. And I had the most unique experience. I did an Instagram story about it. I actually recorded it for my Monday morning mindset for my email list this week, because I've never seen anything like it. So I'm sitting at the bar waiting. I mean, I was having breakfast, so I wasn't drinking. Let me clarify.
Wait, which
that.
bar?
In Tampa.
Oh, okay.
At the airport. I was waiting at the airport to board my flight to here.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting there, and when I walked up, the bartender said, "So, how's your day going?" I was like, "It's not bad. You know, a lot going on, but it's not bad." And she said, and I said, "How about you?" She's like, "I've had better days." You know, and it's always hard when you start a conversation like that, but
we appreciate it. What is you hate when people ask, how are you? And
yeah. Oh, I'm fine. I mean, freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Tell me the truth, even if you are a stranger.
Yeah. So, and she said the truth, and she started telling her story about how basically her house was already damaged from Helene. And then in this storm, she's like, they knew the storm surge was coming because they saw it was the storm, where the storm was going, she was going to have water. And so this was the only funny part. She took her recliner and put it in the back of her truck so that she had somewhere to sit and wait as the water started rising. And this is after the winds had died down and everything. Like, this was, post storm, because what happened was something broke, right?
And you just have to wait.
Yeah. And so I guess something happened with a sewage plant or something, and her house is full of sewage. And
somehow that's so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is. It's so much worse than just water damage.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, it's horrible. But
yeah.
Yeah. So she's telling this whole story, and she's saying that she's living in a condo right now for the next 3 days. But after that, she doesn't know what she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
The couple sitting next to me, literally without hesitation, they didn't even have like this conversation with each other saying, "Honey, should we give her the house? Should we let her stay at the house?" It wasn't a conversation. They took the wife took the key out from her purse, took it off her keychain, handed it to the woman, wrote with their address, and said, "We're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. You're welcome to stay at our house. And when we get back, you're welcome to stay with us for as long as you need."
That's incredible.
I mean,
whoa,
never.
That is genuinely so incredible. But it's a real thing right now. I think people are sitting back a little bit outside of the state of Florida, and that's horrifying. That's horrifying. And like, how are they going to rebuild? But we find community so fast, I will say, when you go through these shared struggles. I mean, all of the Floridians in my law school class, we have been like regularly checking on each other, because it's a sense of community you don't really get other places.
Yeah, it was so heartwarming to me.
Yeah.
And fascinating at the same time, because trust me, I'm all about random acts of kindness, or just kindness in general. But the idea of just giving over your home to someone that you don't know and having them stay there while you're not there is just such a leap of faith. And maybe that's what we need right now. I mean, really.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
here's the best part of the story. So obviously she was crying, and she came over and she was hugging them and thanking them. And then she had to continue on with her work. And so she's serving other people. And then she comes back over, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, honey, what's your name?" Like they hadn't even asked her name before they gave her their
That's
keys
so
to the house, right?
incredible.
Yeah. So I just thought like this is such, I mean, what a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And it makes you think like, what would you do in that situation? I don't think I would have that leap of faith to be able to just give over the keys to my house.
No, but I would be like, do you want to come live with me?
I would be okay having people stay with
Actually,
me for sure.
I mean, even right now, I'm nowhere near the storm, but I've had a lot of friends that have been double hit, Asheville and Sarasota. I'm like, come stay with me. I have a room.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know. It's one of the easiest things you can. I mean, especially if you have the space. Like, I have the space. I have an extra bedroom. If someone needs to like crash, it's awesome. But I mean, I don't know if I would let someone stay in my house when I'm not there, especially someone I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was such an interesting piece.
But I think there is something to take away with that. Like maybe, I don't know if I would go around, giving away the keys to my house, but there is something to be said for just here. How can I help you? Like, oh, you're looking for housing in Tampa. I actually know this person that's doing this drive right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things you can do. So here's a couple of things that here I am sitting there, and yes, I left her at the tip was way bigger than the cost of my food. Right. And here I think, okay, well, everybody, if you can do a little thing to help, right. And then they give her the house and I was like, okay, that meant nothing.
It still does mean something.
Everything means something.
Yeah.
And that's a reminder.
It's right now. I mean, everything counts. Like every single cent, every single donation, it matters. And as much as you think like, as an individual out of state or in any sort of crisis that's happening, like how am I going to make a difference? That one can of food you donated just filled someone's belly.
Yeah. I mean, the first question is, do you want to make a difference? And I'm hoping your answer
everybody
is yes, right?
out there. I mean, maybe not, but I would assume most everyone I've talked to has wanted to make a difference at some point in their life.
Yeah. And everybody does it in different ways. Like tomorrow, so I'm fly home tonight. Tomorrow, I'm taking one of the kids to help with the pop-up food bank. And again, we live in a very sheltered world, right? I mean, we still can go on with our lives, right? I mean, my husband is still working. I'm still working. We can still move forward. But
I mean, the kids are back in school.
Yeah, the kids are back in school. And trust me, there were a couple of weeks of not working. So obviously that affects your pay moving forward. But we can still do all these things. And you think if your house was completely destroyed,
what do you do?
And for a lot of people that don't have insurance, what do you do?
Yeah.
And
I mean, even if you're regardless of your wealth status, there's so many people that aren't insured in the state of Florida, and no one has that kind of money.
And think about something as simple as, so obviously we went without power for multiple days, which means you don't have power, you lose the food in your fridge. I mean, and you can only keep so many things in an ice chest. And for a lot of people, they don't even have one, right? So
why would you?
These pop-up food banks are huge, because think about when you lose all the food in your fridge and you can't afford to replace it. What are you going to do?
Well, yeah. And I mean, you think about it, like it is over time, you really do like stockpile food. Like if you added all the value in your fridge at one time, maybe you don't spend $1,000 at the grocery store in one go, but like if you lose everything in your fridge, that's $1,000 and you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Not right now.
I mean, even when we were cleaning out our refrigerator, you had all the condiments in the door. I mean, we had a door full of condiments and like all of it says refrigerate after opening. So, once it's gone.
That's another thing, guys. If you like throw away your food, like not risk botulism on top of any other disease that's out in the water right now. Like throw away your food.
Yeah. So anyways, that's one thing I'm doing when I get home, and we'll see. I mean,
I think that like when you hear things like this, at least for me, I always hear like, wow, you're going to a food bank. Like, what am I doing? I can't do anything. But I think there's something to be said. And like the point, what I'm saying here is like small acts matter too.
Really? I mean, I will tell you that there have been 3 times in my life where I have gone to Starbucks and they have the person in front of me paid for my drinks. And I can tell you that will stick in my mind forever, because I might have been having a crappy day. I don't even remember that part. But what I do remember is someone doing that for me made my day better, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that I couldn't afford to buy the Starbucks. It was that someone took time to do something special for me, right?
Yeah.
Something out of the norm. And I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what we think might be a simple, oh, what's the point of doing that? It really won't make a difference. I mean, simple things like holding the door for someone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, walk around these days and you just don't see that happening very often. I remember holding the door open for a man, and he said, I feel so special. He's like, nobody
That's
ever
so
holds
funny.
the door for me. And I'm thinking, really? Like, but it's those things that we don't
Mm-hmm.
think about that we need to start thinking about, like having a conversation with someone, saying hi to someone.
Yeah.
I always say we never know what anybody else is going through, and doing something, no matter how small it is, can truly change their day and theoretically can change their life, right?
Yeah. I mean,
there
absolutely.
was a story I read once, and again, who knows if it's really true or not, but basically kid was walking home from school. Kid was very bullied in school, and walking home dropped his books, and another kid was walking by. And typically what had happened to this kid is someone would kick him out of the way, kick the books out of the way, like, but this kid stopped and helped the other kid pick up the books. And then they walked home. And the reason he had all his books with him is he had emptied his locker because he was planning on going home to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that little act of kindness made him realize that he's not alone and that other people do care. So think about that when you're out there in the world, like something little could truly change someone's life.
Absolutely.
What's the best thing someone has ever done for you that's like random?
Oh, wow. That's random.
I mean, I feel like I have, kind people do kind acts on a regular basis for me. For example, it's reaching out, like for this, like we had a hard time finding someone to tarp our roof. And I posted on Facebook, and one of the women who, she used to be the principal at the kids' lower school, she reached out. She's like, call my husband, he'll help you. And sure enough, we have someone tarping our roof today. So, but I tried multiple places to get someone, and the ones that were willing to do it were literally charging an arm and a leg because they can, because people are going to pay it because they're desperate.
Have to. I mean, this is just tangent about tarping roofs. If you don't tarp your roof and it's damaged, your entire house will be ruined. So like
as soon as it rains, I mean, we have big holes in our roof. As soon as it rains,
it's like literally holes. People have done a lot of nice things for me throughout my life, obviously. Oh, there was one day in New York that I had an absolutely horrible day. I was feeling horrible about myself. And it was a sophomore year, and I was working Midtown. And so I don't know why I did this, but on horrible days, I would always walk through Times Square. Don't know why. Honestly, because I would like to feed into my misery. And I'm almost home, and I'm just feeling bad about myself. And I'm sure he didn't even mean to do this. This guy randomly stopped me. He said, "You look so beautiful today." Not in a creepy way. Just like, "You look so beautiful, and I hope someone's told you that today." And I don't know why. That has stuck with me forever. Just like, I was having such a horrible day, and I'm sure on my face I had a horrible scowl on, because afterwards I was like, "There's no way." But like, that was like, maybe he's right. Like, and no, it's just like a silly little comment like that, but that has definitely stuck with me.
Well, that's what I mean, is that and that's what I'm saying, is that
or
you never know what little thing is going to really make an impact on someone's life.
Absolutely. There's this barista at a coffee shop I used to go to sophomore year, again in college, in New York, and I don't know if we ever actually spoke besides our coffee order, but one day, once again, I had a scowl on my face, and he upgraded my coffee for free, and I will literally always remember that. And because of that, I tell people to go to that coffee shop.
Yeah. I mean,
or there's the guy at the gas station one time in Florida, the taco gas station. Once again, definitely he didn't know I was having a bad day, and I didn't have enough change for some reason, and I was like fishing around in my pockets to find another bill, and he was like, "It's fine." Like, it was like 23 cents, and like, that's not that big of a deal, obviously, but to me that was like,
in the moment it's stressful, right?
So stressful. And just little things like that are like, you just gave me a break that you didn't know I needed.
I've had that before, where someone, it was one time the person in front of me, they had a full load of groceries and their credit card got declined. They didn't have another credit card with them. They didn't have any cash on them. And I just said to the checkout person, I'll pay for it. And the woman was like, no, you can't pay for it. And I was like, it's fine. I'll pay for it. And she's like, I'll pay you back. I was like, please don't worry. Like, it's okay. You know, it was like $150. And, you know, she was super thankful. And
you went about your day.
You know, you went about your day. And so it's not about getting accolades for something. It's not about saying, oh, I did these amazing things.
No.
It's doing it because you know it's going to make a difference and you know you can help someone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why not? You have a choice. You can be rude or you can be kind. I mean, right? Or you can be just not there, right? I guess there's three things.
Yeah.
You can be.
I think that one of the things I really love about human beings is that we all have our different versions of love languages and different ways that then therefore we show love. And I think people forget that sometimes, that like you can show love beyond just to the people in your circle. Like random acts of kindness is a way of showing love to strangers as well. And we need it. Like we need it.
Yeah. Just so there's another story that I really want to tell. So this week while I was in Nashville, I met this amazing woman who has a daughter that has a severe muscular disease.
We want to have them on the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to bring them on the podcast. And so the daughter is she's got a tube. She's intubated. She's got 7 machines that keep her alive every day. But she wants to live her fullest life. For the first 2, she was diagnosed when she was 9 months old. For the first 2 years of her life, they really kept her in a bubble because they were so afraid that she was going to die. I mean, the doctor told her she has 2 years max. And so they ended up going on a Disney cruise. And this woman said that she's never, and I'm not going to say her name because I want to bring her on the podcast. So, that it was the first time she really saw her daughter light up like that. And she said, what am I doing if I'm not letting her live? Like, what's the point of keeping her alive if I'm not letting her live? And so they kind of changed everything after that. They go on cruises every year. She goes in person to school. She's in her color guard. She's in her choir. So it's unbelievable when you think about it that way. And so anyways, the whole point of the story was one of the things her daughter loves is to FaceTime with other teenage girls. She's 15 years old now. So that tells you how well this has gone. She's 15 years old now. And she loves to FaceTime with other teenage girls. And so at the meeting, one of the things she asked, the woman asked was, is there anybody in here that has teenage daughters that would be willing to FaceTime with my daughter because she loves that? And the number of hands that went up was incredible.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I love talking to people.
I know. So, I mean, I have her number. We're going to get her on the podcast too, because I think that really understanding what it means to live, right? To really be totally into your life and you're all in. And anyway, so that random act of kindness piece wasn't random. It was just like kindness. She just asked for people that
asked for a simple thing. Do you have a daughter that would be willing to call my daughter?
And it wasn't like, oof, I don't know if this will work. It was like hands up in the air.
Yeah.
She gave out her phone number. And
because I think this always goes back to something you say, like the worst thing someone can say is no. And on that sentiment, you can't say no before trying.
No. I mean, people do,
but you shouldn't.
No,
because I feel like I'm gonna call myself out. I do this all the time, and then the minute I do try it, I enjoy it. Shrimp. That's my big example here. I hated shrimp for how many damn years? So many years, and then I finally got over myself. I was like, oh, I get it. Like I get the hype. But applying it to more than that, like you can't say no without trying, because this could end up being your favorite thing in the world, and you just blew it off.
And why not do something nice for someone else?
Absolutely. Like it doesn't take that much.
No. And when you get into an Uber, I know people like to keep to themselves, but hi, what's the best thing you did today?
Yeah.
How's your drive going today? Whatever
Oh my
it
God.
is.
And then you get
just
great stories.
You do get great stories, but it's all about being in the moment and really kind of understanding that what we do impacts people, whether it's positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
It can go both ways, right? You can be a jerk and
Yeah.
it can really ruin someone's day.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot to say about being kind. And
I wish I had my shirt on today that said, kindness matters, but
it
does. It matters.
Yeah, it does. And it's still, I mean, you don't have to like everybody. Like, I'm not saying that, but you should hold the door open for everybody. You should smile at everybody.
Yeah, and if they don't smile back, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
not worth the
you
time.
did your part.
Yeah,
you did your part. But again, because you don't know what anybody else is going through. So, but I think it's so important that we remind ourselves of this. I think we get stuck in this rut. We get stuck in our daily routine, and you're just running to get to your class, and you're running to get to your job, and you got to get the kids to school, and there's so many things going on. I think it's important to take a step back and first of all, ask yourself what you need, right? Because if you're showing up in a negative way, it's hard for people to want to be positive around you. But also, if you're showing up in a negative way, there might be that person that's going to say, do you need a hug?
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Right?
You were saying like acts of kindness earlier. One of the things that like really sticks out to me the most recently was your friend that lives here, one of your friends from childhood. The hug that she gave me like lasted longer than a stranger's hug would. And like, I didn't know how much I needed that in the point.
Yeah. You just never know what you need in the moment. And I told her that story. Now, this was a really funny thing this morning because we were talking about that, how that hug it was like such a big deal to her, how she felt like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm home. Right.
Yeah.
And so I read this article this morning that it's an airport in New Zealand that they have a sign up that says a maximum 3-minute hug zone.
Yeah.
If you want to say goodbye for longer, you have to go to this special parking
like
lot.
Cell phone lot, yeah.
Because it's holding up traffic. And I thought,
okay, that's sweet though. It's cute.
It was funny
that's cute that people are giving longer than 3-minute hugs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I just choked on my coffee. Okay, we're about out of time. So
I have a great calendar for today, guys. Okay. Like, you are not defined by what's inside your head. You are what you do, your actions.
That is perfect for today. So I challenge everyone that's listening to really think about random acts of kindness. I mean, they're random because you're not thinking about it, but put it in your head that, hey, you know what? I can do something nice for someone every day. I mean, imagine how good you would feel if every day of the week you did something nice for someone else. I'm not saying give away your house. I'm saying something little every day that is unexpected.
Ask someone that you normally wouldn't ask to grab lunch with you.
Anything that would make a difference.
Yeah.
And imagine if everyone in this world did something like that every day, what a different world this would be.
Absolutely.
With that, I feel motivated to start my day.
I know.
It's early here, so we're good.
It's not that early. When you say early, people, I think, see like 5, 6 a.m. It's like 9.
I've been up since 6. So.
I mean, okay.
It's
Thanks,
early
Mom.
for me.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, you're welcome. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. We so love doing this. This is like one of our favorite things every week. Well, I'm speaking for her. It's one of my favorite things every week to record an episode with her. So thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Her Unshakable Confidence. We will see you next time. And always remember, you are unshakable.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Her Unshakable Confidence with Simone and Olivia Canego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Simone Canego and at Olivia Canego. Till next time.